Okay, when we go to create a new doc for our new level guides or new levels that come out, they come out 10 at a time. So we need to make that doc to include 10 levels. We go up to files and we click on files to open them up, and you'll see all the docs that are currently in there, and you want to create a new one, so you place create doc, and you then write in a title for that doc. We're going to do Eternal Isles for this one. It's the latest that's been out, and that's 32. And always when you make a new doc for your new levels that have come out, you want to write in progress, and that way they're much easier to pick out in your documents when you're working on them. And then when they're all done, you change your title to complete, and that's what you need to do in that case. So now we've completed started the doc, and we'll want to go down here a ways because this thing has a tendency to be really funky, and we'll just put in here EI 32.1, and after that we need to put in all of our stats. Now I've already copied and pasted this from another document. Instead of making this 10 times, I make it 11, so that I always have one that's blank and I can just copy and paste it into the next doc I make for the next set of level guides. And you just put in a few spaces and put in EI 32.2 and so forth, and you just go down and continue making them. I'm not even going to label this one, I'm just showing you how you go about things. Then you put them all there. You start with your stats. That's something you've kept notes of. You want to put your starting bubbles here. Let's say they're 80. Then you want to put your points for stars in as well. That is not in boldface, so a lot of times you'll have to go back and change that. Points for stars, just unclick the bold. And let's say that's 100,000. We don't put commas between our numbers here, like I just did. We just put a space. Then there's a comma afterwards, and then it's 145 space 1,000 and 160,000. I'm just throwing out numbers here. Potions. Oh, maybe we recommended the rainbow potion for this level, so we write in rainbow potion or rainbow. And if you have any other potions like 3 holes in the ceiling, you would write that in as well. Make sure, however, well, I'll get into that in a minute. As far as recommended charms and wishes, some people have charms. We can no longer buy them, but we can buy wishes. And the precision, hopefully, anyone who ever needed one has it now, because I use the precision charm in every single level, and I have only used that charm up until just recently when I started to purchase some others or were gifted some. So write in the precision charm. If, let's say there was a lot of infection bubbles in that particular level, you would put the antidote as a optional one, because it may very well be, you can pass that level without it, but it would make it easier if you do already have the antidote charm, and if you don't, you could buy the wish for the antidote charm in that particular game. Extra bubbles could be things like dooms, mystery, just about everything. The one thing you do want to do, however, is when you have bombs or when you have locks and chains, is you need to write in the number of those. Where you would put, here you would put bombs, six. Or if you had, let's say then, you had one chain, and 2 locks. Okay, and I always put the bombs and then chains and locks at the end of all of the extra bubbles. I don't put them in the beginning or the middle. I always put them at the end. So that's the other thing you do, and you always make sure that you put in here who did the level guide, who did the stats, the strategy tips and picks, and that goes in here as well, and you would write their name in. Depending on how many pictures you have, that we also write. Let's say you just had 2, that would be pick EI32 1A, and then pick 32 1B, and we go from there. On your very first picture, however, you don't write this in. I'm just writing this in to show you what you need. You do your layout, the layout of the screen that you're looking at, whether it be a full layout or that first initial screen. If you've got bombs on the right or left, if you have infection coming from above that you can't see, that will be coming down the middle or coming down one side or the other. If there's mystery bubbles or morphs or whatever, wherever they're located, that is what you need to write. If you do have a chain and lock, above it's dark, but you've played the game, so you know what's up there, and you can see some of it faintly. You need to mark those obstacles on the top. If you have those same obstacles on the bottom, however, you'll have to mark both. So sometimes that's one of those times that can get a little busy, and we like to keep it as clean as possible. So only mark what you absolutely have to. After you've done your layout, then you need to go in here and you need to write out the strategy. So after they know what's coming, you need to tell them how to go about fixing it. Do you start up the middle? Do you start to the right, to the left, or both sides? Do you drop the bomb on the right first? Do you start going on both sides to stop the infection, and then drop the dooms in the middle? Whatever your strategy may be for the beginning of that picture. When your next picture comes about, then you start your strategy for the second picture. It may show that your lower obstacles have already been dropped. You state that my lower bombs and spiders have been dropped. Now I have to, now you need to drop the doom on the left, and you need to stop the new infection that's now coming down on the right. Whatever the case may be, and go proceed with your strategy that leads up into your next picture, if you do have a next picture. Your last picture should always have the ceiling scene. So if it's your last picture, as in this case we're going to make it our last picture, our ceiling is going to be seen. That's the first thing I say, ceiling scene. Okay, and then you state what's left, if there is anything left, if there's new obstacles there that you couldn't see before in your previous picture, what you need to do to drop that ceiling, if you need probably the rainbow bubble to help drop that ceiling, anything involving that, showing in your picture. You need to give that strategy and what needs to be done. A lot of times we can drop a ceiling without dropping those extra obstacles. Sometimes they're right in the ceiling and we can't drop them anyways, and we just need to contain them or not ignite the bomb or whatever the case may be. In the event, I'm just going to write this one more thing down here, which I'm going to put it in here. Let's say I have a close-up picture, and we'll label it like this, 32 1, and then we just put close-up. This is a very short statement. This is basically just saying, this indicates the it's showing that your infection can't drop below this certain point, and you draw a line. You've probably played another game that you lost because the infection fell below the black bubbles or below the doom bubbles or whatever, or they just got too low and you couldn't lower your screen. So that's why you've got a nice picture to crop this close-up out of, and you can put right in there, draw a line. Infection should not drop below this line, and that's all you need to draw out, or a screen won't lower, and that's all you need to draw to state in this particular picture. So now we go down here. Oh, we haven't done this yet. We push create doc, and it will show up on our page as such. So you see here, after you say that your doc is, or you push the create doc, your doc is here. Now it is possible that you just create the doc. You don't have to necessarily write everything in other than what you need to put in for your stats and so forth, and just make the doc. But you can enter it either from here, you can enter it from here, or once you've started working in it, you're going to have to go back up into Files to open up that doc so that you can complete whatever it is that you need to do. So we're going to go ahead and go back in this way. If we need to edit the doc, then to write anything else in there. So this is what we've done so far. You always need to write, whenever you go in your doc and write something, you already need to write what it is you did. For instance, if all I did was put in those starting bubbles, all the stuff you need for stats, I would just put in here that doc started for EI 32. The next time I go in, I might write stats added for 32 1 through 5, because maybe you split it up and you know, half. One person's doing 5 and another person's doing the other 5. When you get to the point where you're almost done, you can put that your particular section that you're doing, such as EI 32 1 through 5, complete and ready to be published. And state where your pictures are. There's a couple different places you can put them, so you want to make sure that you state where your pictures are. Pics in group. And that's pretty much all there is to it as far as doing your docs. And I'll follow up some more with some other things that you need to know. So good luck, and if you have any questions, just ask. That's the only way to learn. Thank you. Bye.